My name is Catherine Christensen, and I am here as one of the lawyers from the Valour Legal Action Centre to bring you your update on some of the cases that we are working on. The case that has everyone's attention right now is called Op Valour 1.0. This lawsuit began to be developed back in October 2021 when the Chief of Defence Staff of the Canadian Armed Forces brought in his first directive with the mandatory COVID-19 vaccination campaign. Since that time, we have accumulated a lot of evidence, and in June of 2023, we filed the Statement of Claim in a mass tort against the Canadian Armed Forces. This is not a COVID-19 lawsuit. This is a lawsuit about abuse of power. In our opinion, the orders that were given requiring all members to be vaccinated was against the law. It violated the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and the Chief of Defence Staff cannot give an order under the National Defence Act that violates the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. After the directives were issued, there were several abuses of the chain of command where they flat out abused their people in various ways attempting to enforce this order. This is what the lawsuit is about, how the Canadian Armed Forces have abused their own people and driven the cream of the crop of the Canadian Armed Forces out of the Canadian military at a time where recruitment is at an all-time low and morale has sunk so low that even those that are still in are looking to get out. The response to 1.0 has been overwhelming. We have had hundreds more people reach out to join the lawsuit. Instead of joining the original lawsuit, we have engaged in what we call Op Valour 2.0. This is essentially the same abuse of power lawsuit for those that did not join in the first one. Keep in mind, this is not a class action. Therefore, only the people named in this lawsuit will be the ones that have any opportunity to share in a settlement or judgment should that happen in this case. This is what's known as a mass tort, and it is very different than a class action. If you are interested in joining the Mass Tort 2.0, please reach out to our office at opvalour, V-A-L-O-U-R 2.0, opvalour 2.0 at valourlegalactioncentre.org, and our team will be happy to send you an intake package. Keep in mind that there is a very short timeline on 2.0. We are up against the statute of limitations, and you therefore need to send in your request for an intake package by the 25th of August. And then you have until the 31st of August to send in the complete package with your documentation so that you can take part in Op Valour 2.0. We look forward to hearing from you and working with you. Some of the other cases that we're working on include the case where a Edmonton soldier attempted to kill her 3 children in a fire in the PMQs at CFB Edmonton in July of 2015. We have been working with the father of those children since 2018, and it is only his diligence in pursuing justice for his children that resulted in CFNIS, or the Canadian Forces National Investigation Service, reopening the investigation and then charging her, and she was convicted of 3 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of arson in February of 2023. In June of 2023, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison, and the case is now under appeal, and the appeal has not yet been heard. Keep in mind, she was allowed to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces until June of 2023. There was no 5F unfit for service or unsuitable for service for her until she was actually sentenced. The main crux of that lawsuit is the negligent investigation by the military police and the CFNIS. They not only suspected one of the children, actually calling the children suspects, but they also accused the dad of starting the fire, even though at the time he was deployed away from Edmonton and could not possibly have been here to start the fire. They then closed the file and did not even pursue the avenue that the mother had done the fire and tried to kill the children. It was only with the father's due diligence and our team working with the father to obtain more evidence and keep pushing that eventually the case was reopened and she was charged in 2019. We are very proud to be working with this family to get the justice they deserve after being so cruelly treated by the Canadian Armed Forces. Another case that we are currently accepting applications for are from the vaccine injured. If you have been injured by the vaccine, or if you are a family member whose Canadian Armed Forces member relative has died from what you suspect is the vaccine, please get in touch with our office at ENQUIRIES@ValourLegalActionCentre.org. We would like to talk to you and perhaps add you to this lawsuit. I am especially interested in speaking with those who have applied to Veterans Affairs Canada for compensation for their vaccine injuries. If you have applied and been turned down by Veterans Affairs or have gone to an appeal of that decision and been turned down, please get in touch with us, because then we can proceed into the federal court and get justice for you, because in my mind, this is clearly a vaccine injury that is related to service. I disagree with the Veterans Affairs appraisers who are saying that it's not service related. Another case that we are working on that I would like to hear from people, literally, is one on hearing. If you have gone to Veterans Affairs to have your hearing claim done and it's been rejected, and you have appealed that and it has been rejected, I would like to speak with you, because we have further evidence that not only has the hearing protection been very defective for members of the Canadian Armed Forces, but there has also been chemical damage done for anyone exposed to diesel or jet fuel. And we know that just about everybody in the Canadian Armed Forces can tell me a story of being soaked in diesel fuel or soaked in jet fuel or been exposed to those fuels at some point in their careers. Again, reach out to inquiries at ValourLegalActionCentre.org, and we would be very happy to speak with you and make you part of that one, which will be a class action lawsuit to force the Canadian Forces to have their members serve in safe conditions. Just because they wear a uniform doesn't mean you're not entitled to occupational health and safety standards that apply to every other worker in the Canadian work environment. Thank you for joining me on this update, and I look forward to seeing you again.